Good morning, students. Today we are going to see economic order quantity. In last class we have discussed about maxima and minima. Now I continue to start local and global maxima and minima. In last class we have discussed only increasing and decreasing functions and stationary values and stationary points. Okay. Now we are going to see local and global maxima minima. Next topic, economic order quantity. Okay. Students, here this is definition for local maxima and local minima. Function f has a local maxima. Another name of local maxima is relative maximum. Okay. Local maximum or relative maximum at point C if there is an open interval a comma b containing C such that f of C greater than or equals to f of x for every x belongs to open interval a comma b. This is local maximum function. Definition of local maximum function. Here definition of local minimum. If f has a local minimum at C if there is an open interval a comma b containing C such that f of C less than or equals to f of x. The small slight change means f of C greater than or equal to f of x means local maximum. F of C less than or equals to f of x means local minimum. That's definition. 6.2 absolute maximum and absolute minimum. Here a function f has absolute maximum at C if f of C greater than or equals to f of x for all x in domain of f. The number f of C is called maximum value of f in the domain. Similarly, f has an absolute minimum at C if f of C less than or equals to f of x for all x in domain of f, and the number f of C is called the minimum value of f on the domain. So maximum and minimum value of f are called extreme values of f. Clear, students? Yes. Here we have to first here for all this condition is for all x in domain of f, function f. Here f of C is a range value. The number f of C is called maximum value of f in the domain. F of C is a range of particular value x. That's all. Clear, students? Yes. Next, criteria for local maxima and local minima. Here let f be a differentiable function on an open interval a comma b containing C, and suppose that f double dash of C exists. This is very important condition. Let f be a differentiable function on an open interval a comma b containing C, and suppose that f double dash of C exists. First condition, if f dash of C equals to 0 and f double dash of C greater than 0, then f has a local minimum at C. This is necessary condition, students. So f dash of C equals to 0, f double dash of C greater than 0, then f is called local minimum at C. Here if f dash of C equals to 0 and f double dash of C less than 0, then f has local maximum at C. Clear? Yes. Find the extremum values of function. Here write the given function f of x equals to 2x cube plus 3x square minus 12x. Mark this as equation 1. Now I differentiate equation 1. So f of x, after differentiating f of x, we will have f dash of x equals to differentiation of x cube is 3x square. Already 2 is there. 2 into 3 6x square. Here differentiation of x square is 2x. 3 is there. 3 into 2 6x. Differentiation of x is 1. Result is minus 12. 1 into minus 12 minus 12. Clear? Again we take differentiation on first derivative. This is first derivative. This is given function. This is first derivative. After differentiation of first derivative, we will have second derivative. So differentiation of x square is 2x. 6 into 2, 12x. So differentiation of x is 1. 1 into 6, 6. Clear? Next, f dash of x equals to 0. According to the condition, we have to find f dash of x equals to 0. First, equate the first derivative to 0. So now we know that f dash of x equals to 6x square plus 6x minus 12. Apply that value and equate it to 0. So here 6 is common, taking out. So we can factorize this one. We will have the answer x plus 2, x minus 1. Clear, students? 1 2s are 2. Put the symbol for plus for 2, minus for 1. Clear? Now we have 2 minus 1 means plus 1. This is plus 1. Multiply 1 and 2, minus 1 and 2 minus 2. This is the answer. So after factorizing this one, we will have the result x plus 2, x minus 1. Divide this one by 6. Result is x plus 2 into x minus 1 equal to 0. Next, x minus x plus 2 equals to 0 and x minus 1 equal to 0. Here x equals to minus 2. Here x equals to 1. Okay. First we have to apply the value of x minus. Listen. We found two values, x equals to minus 2 and x equals to 1. First we apply the first value, x equals to minus 2 in equation second derivative. Here f double dash of x, in place of x I put minus 2. So 12 into minus 2 plus 6. After simplify this result, minus 18 is there. Just check the result of f double dash of x for f double dash of minus 2, which is less than 0. So therefore f of x attains local maximum. F double dash of x, f double dash of x less than 0 means maximum. If it is f double dash of x less than 0 maximum, greater than 0 minimum. Here f of x attains local maximum at x equals to minus 2. Okay, now we just apply the value of minus 2 in f of x, we will get minimum value. Clear? Yes. Here I just apply the value of minus 2 in given function. So f of minus 2 equals to 2 into minus 2 whole cube plus 3 into minus 2 whole square minus 12 into minus 2. Simplifying this one, we will have the result 20. Next we have to apply the value of second point x equals to 1 in the second derivative. We will have a positive value. You just check the result, nature of this result, f double dash of 1 equals to 18, which is greater than 0. So f of x attains local minimum at x equals to 1. Next, apply the value of x equals to 1 in given function f of 1 equal to 2 into 1 cube plus 3 into 1 square minus 12 into 1. We will have the result 2 plus 3, 5. 5 minus 12, result is minus 7. So extremum values are minus 7 and 20. Clear? Yes. Here extremum values means after applying the value of x, what we have obtained from the first derivative. Clear? Yes. After obtain the value of x, we put that value in the second derivative, and again we have to find the minimum and max, check the nature of that result. After that we will find extremum value. Clear? Yes. Next example 26. Find the absolute maximum and absolute minimum of the following function. Here f of x equals to 3x power 5 minus 25x cube plus 60x plus 1 in the interval minus 2 comma 1. Here minus 2 comma 2 is there, wrongly taken here, so this is minus 2 comma 1. Clear? Yes. Here given, write the given function and mark this as equation 1, differentiate equation 1, result is differentiation of x power 5 means 5 x power 4. So already 3 is there, 3 into 5 15, 15 x power 4. Here differentiation of x cube means 3x square, so 3 into 25 minus 75 x square. Differentiation of x means 1, 1 into 60, 60. Constant term obviously 0. Here 15 is common for all the terms, taking out. Now equate f dash of x equals to 0. Apply the value of f dash of x and divide this one by 15. Result is x power 4 minus 5x square plus 4 equals to 0. Factorize this one. Result is x square minus 4 x square minus 1. 1 4s are 5. When we add 4 and 1, we will have minus 5. So I put minus 4 minus 1. Add these two values, minus 5, 5 is there. Multiply these two values, minus 4 into minus 1 plus 4. Clear? So here in place of x square, x power 4 is there. You just take x square whole square. Here x whole square. You just take instead of x, you write x square. Clear, students? So here generally we take x minus 4, x minus 1 if it is the power x square minus 5x plus 4. Here power rise to the rise to 2, so that I write x square minus 4 into x square minus 1, which is equals to 0. We can separate this one into x square minus 4 equals to 0 as well as x square minus 1 equals to 0. Here x square minus 4 equals to 0 means x square equals to 4, x equals to plus or minus 2. Likewise x equals to plus or minus 1. Okay, you just take we find absolute maximum and absolute minimum within the interval minus 2 comma 1, closed interval minus 2 comma 1. So here there are 4 values we obtain here. My plus or minus 2 means plus 1, 2 minus 2, plus 1 minus 1. But here we can take minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1. We can't take value 2 plus 2. So we have to find absolute maximum and absolute minimum within the values minus 2, plus 1, minus 1. That's all. But plus 2 is not included within that given interval. Clear? Yes. You just apply the value of x given f of x. Write the f of x given function. In place of x you put minus 2. And write the result. Next, when x equals to 1, what is the result? You put x equals to 1, we will have 39. Next, x equals to minus 1, we will have 39. So absolute maximum means out of negative numbers here minus 37 only one occurs only 2 times. So out of this, which one is minimum value? Minus 37 is minimum. Compare minus 15 and minus 37. 37 is minus 37 is minimum. So I straightly write absolute minimum is minus 37. Here f of 1, after applying x equals to 1 in a given function, we will have 39. Here 39 occurs only one time. There is no comparison. We straightly write absolute maximum is 39. Example 27. For a particular process, the cost function is given by C equals to something, where C is cost per unit and X is number of units produced. Find the minimum value of the cost and the corresponding number of units to be produced. What we have to find means minimum value of the cost and corresponding number of units to be produced. Okay, yes, minimum, we have to find the minimum cost and number of units produced, x value. We have to find the x value. Yes, write the given function C equals to 50x minus 8x plus x square. Differentiate the given function. We will have the result dc divided by dx, which is equals to minus 8 plus 2x, because 56 is constant, result is 0, so take 8 minus 8x, differentiation of x is 1, 1 into minus 8 minus 8, here differentiation of x square is 2x, that's all. Okay, again we differentiate the first derivative with respect to x. What is the result? D square c divided by dx square, which is equals to 2. Minus 8, differentiation of minus 8 is 0, plus differentiation of x is 1, 1 into 2, 2. Finally we will have the result 2. Now we have to equate the first derivative into 0. So here dc by dx is the first derivative equated to 0. Okay, write the equivalent value, minus 8 plus 2x equals to 0. So 2x equals to plus 8, x equals to 8 by 2, x equals to 4. Okay, yes, you just check the nature of that result. When x equals to 4, d square c divided by dx square equals to 2. You just apply here, x is not presented in the second derivative, you just check whether it is greater than 0 or less than 0. Clear? Now I write plus 2. This is the result of d square c divided by dx square is equals to 2, which is greater than 0. So c is minimum when x equals to 4. Clear? Minimum value of cost equals to, apply the value of x in the given function c equals to 56 minus 56 into minus 8x plus x square. So 56 minus 8 into 4, 32 plus 16, which is 2x square, means 4 square 16, 6, that's all, x square. Clear? 40 is the minimum value of cost. Corresponding number of units produced means 4. This is the corresponding units. Okay, when I apply the value of x equals to 4, that value is the corresponding number of units. This is minimum cost. That's all. Clear? Yes. Next example 28. The total cost function of a firm is c of x equals to x cube divided by 3 minus 5x square plus 28x plus 10, where x is the output. Tax at the rate of rupees 2 per unit of output is imposed, and producer adds it to his cost. If market demand function is given by p equals to 2530 minus 5x, where p is the price per unit of output, find the profit maximizing the output and price. First we have to find profit maximizing the output and find price. Okay, first write profit. To find profit function, first we have to find the revenue function as well as cost function. Okay, total revenue equals to R equals to P into X. We know that obviously. So revenue function is not given directly, but we have to find through P value. The function, demand function P equals to 2530 minus 5x. Okay, we know that revenue, total revenue equal to R equal to P into X. Apply the value of P here and multiply this one with X. Result is 2030x plus minus 5x square. Next, tax at the rate rupees 2 per x unit equals to 2x. Okay, we have x units of, we have produced x units. Okay, cost of 1 unit is 2, then x unit is 2x. Clear? Producer add this value, this tax value with the original function, cost function. Here c of x is the cost function, and producer adds this tax value with the cost function, means c of x plus 2x. Now we have the result 2x. Clear? We know that we obtained the value of total revenue and cost function. Okay, we know that profit equals to total revenue minus total cost plus tax. So write the values here, simplify the values here. 2530 minus 5x into x, multiply this result 2530x minus 5x square minus x cube by 3 minus here minus into minus plus 5x square minus 28x minus 10 minus 2x. After simplifying this result, we will have minus x by 3 x cube by 3 here 2530 and 530x, okay, here 28x, here 2x. What is the result? 30x minus 30x, okay, here this one, multiply these two things. What is the result? 2530x minus 28x plus 2x. What is the result? 30x. Subtract this one from this one. Result is 2500x. Clear? This is 5x square minus 5x square. 5 into x, 5x square. Here minus into minus plus 5x square minus 5x square plus x square cancel. Result is this one. So differentiate. This is profit function. We have to find the first derivative of profit function. Differentiate the profit function with respect to x means dp divided by dx. So dp divided by dx equals to differentiation of 3x cube is 3x square. So minus 1 by 3 into 3x square. 3 cancel. Result is minus x square. Differentiation of x is 1. 1 into 2500, 2500. That's all. This is constant. Leave it. Clear? Next, again we differentiate the first derivative of profit function is d square by d square p divided by dx square equals to minus 2x. This is constant. Just leave it. Okay. Just we equate the first derivative to 0. dp divided by dx equals to 0. We know that dp by dx is minus x square plus 2000. So 2000 minus x square equals to 0. This we can write this one into this one. Both are same thing. So x square equals to 2500. So x equals to plus or minus 50. Here x is always is an output. Okay, in a company. If anything is not produced currently, so value of x is 0. Otherwise, if I produce one product, x value is 1. If I produce more than one product means up to 50. So x equals to 50. So only those values comes under the positive, not negative. Okay. So x equals to 50 minus 50 is not acceptable or not possible. Clear? Yes. Okay, when x equals to 50, find the nature of that given function, profit function. Okay, you just apply the value of x in the second derivative of profit function. So d square p divided by dx square equals to minus, actually 2x is the second value of d square p divided by dx square is minus 2x. In place of x I put 50, 2 into 50 minus 100. I just check whether it is greater than or equals to 0, greater than 0 or less than 0. So minus 100, obviously we know that which is less than 0. So p is maximum when, if second derivative less than 0 means maximum, p is maximum when x equals to 50. Clear? Next, we found the value of maximum value of profit. Next we have to find the price. Price function is already given. So p equals to 2530 minus 5x. In place of x you put 50. Result is 2280. That's all. Next, example 29. These example 28, 29 are very important 5-mark question. You have to go through this thoroughly. Clear? Here the manufacturing cost of an item consists of rupees 1600 as overhead material cost rupees 30 per item and the labor cost rupees x square by 100 for x items produced. Find how many items be produced to have minimum average cost. First, this is as per given information of producing x units of certain item. We can write the cost function as C of x equals to labor cost plus material cost plus overhead cost. These three costs adding up these three costs, we will have the total cost function. Here x square by 100, in previous sums we most generally total cost function is given. Here we have to make total cost function, okay, but they give individual function to make total cost function. Clear? Yes. Next, C of x equals to x square by 100. This is labor cost already given. This is labor cost plus material cost 30. Here 30 per item. We are going to produce x items, so that 30 item. Cost of one item is 30. X item is x into 30, 30x. Here the manufacturing cost of an item consists of 1600 as overhead material. So overhead material, the cost of overhead is 1600. That's all. Okay. Next we have to find how many times how many items be produced to have a minimum average cost. So first we have to find the average cost. So we know that average cost equals to total cost by x. Here C of x is total cost. We have to divide total cost by x. Result is x square by 100 plus 30x plus 1600 divided by x means x by 100, 30, 1600 by x. Clear? Next we have to differentiate average cost. Here x is there, differentiation of x is 1 by 100. Differentiation of, we can write 1600 by x as 1600 into 1 by x. Differentiation of 1 by x is minus 1 by x square. So minus 1600 600 by x square. Clear? Yes. Next take we have to differentiate first derivative of average cost. We will have the second derivative of average cost. So here 1 by 100 is a constant term, so just leave it. So minus 1000 is 600 divided by x square means minus 1 by x cube. 1 by x square, differentiation of 1 by x square means 2 minus 2 divided by x cube. Clear students? 1 by, differentiation of 1 by x is 1 minus 1 by x square. Differentiation of 1 by x square means minus 2 by x cube. Here 1600 is already there, minus 1600 into differentiation of 1 by x square is minus 2 by x cube. So minus 2 into minus 1600, 3200 divided by x cube. Got it? Yes. Now equate the first derivative of average cost equated to 0. Write the values and simplify the answer. Here we can write 1600 divided by x square means we can transposing left to right, we will have the result. So here transpose this one, x square equals to 1,60,000. So here x equals to plus or minus 400. You just take only positive value, negative value is not possible. You leave it minus 400. You just apply the value of x equals to 400 in the function. 3200 divided by 400 cube. Here this is positive value. Whatever, you no need to simplify this one. You just check whether it is greater than or greater than 0 or less than 0. Here positive value is there. Obviously we know that greater than 0. If you wish to simplify this one, you can do. Otherwise you straightly write 3200 divided by 400 and cube greater than 0. So average cost is minimum at x equals to 400. Hence 400 item should be produced for minimum average cost. Clear? Students, very important thing, you have to write this sentence. This is result of this sum. So if you skip to write this one, you will lose 1 mark out of 5. Clear? Yes, you must write. Hence 400 item should be produced for minimum average cost. Got it? Yes. Next, very important topic, inventory control. Inventory control. Here very simple thing, inventory control is managing the stock. When in our home we purchase grocery items for per week or month or 6 month or per year. Okay, why we need for inventory control means to know the nature of stock, how much we have in our stock. Okay, next month, for example, currently we have bought 5 kg rice, for example. Within 1 week we use at least 3 or 3.5 kg, just example. After using that, next week we have to buy some. Currently we have 1.5 kg. Okay, inventory control mainly used for maintaining stock. Okay, in departmental store, for example, in particular goods will be sold quickly. For example, I order particular goods for per week, for 1 week, but within that week, before week ends, some goods exhausted, which means goods sold. Okay, before 1 week ends, that goods are sold. So that time, remaining 3, for example, after 4 days, goods are now we have empty. Now we have the stock detail about particular goods is null or empty. Okay, so to manage that situation, inventory control is very important. In particular thing, one goods is always not running. Okay, after at beginning I end of that week, after and before, that goods quantity is always same, means once we bought, that will not sold. Okay, sold it. Okay, you just remind this one, inventory control is manages stock. Okay, which means stored resources, manages stored resources. Okay, next very important thing means holding cost involved in a inventory based problems. Holding cost, storage cost or inventory carrying cost, these 3 mean same thing. Holding cost, storage cost, inventory carrying cost. Symbol is C1. The cost associated with carrying goods in stock is known as holding cost per unit time. Okay, cost associated with carrying the stock goods in the stock is known as holding cost per unit time. Clear? Next, symbol is C1, shortage cost. I already mentioned that one. I purchase the goods for 1 month. For example, particular good it exhausted within 28 days. In the remaining 2 days, that particular stock is null. Okay, so that time we have to buy again the same thing, but extra amount we spend for that particular goods. That is called shortage cost. Clear? Yes. The penalty cost, shortage cost is nothing. Penalty costs that are incurred as a result of running out of stock are known as shortage cost. That's all. Next, setup cost or ordering cost, procurement cost, C3. Here this is cost incurred with the placement of order. Okay, or with the initial preparation of production facility, such as resetting the equipment for the production. In our home, the furniture, we have furnitures. So is there any repair or we have to renovate those things? For example, we have house, we need to renovate our house. That time we spend certain amount. That cost is called setup cost, ordering cost, or procurement cost. Got it? Yes. Economic order quantity. This is the main topic, economic order quantity. Main objective of this concept is minima is the total annual cost of carrying inventory and cost of ordering, which is under the assumed conditions of certainty. We know that before started a business, we well plan to do certain things. After 1 week, we will realize what is a drawback, what is our plus, what are the things we have to learn. These and all they will learn within that 1 week. Not only that 1 week, it takes some time. Okay. So our main objective is minimize the total annual cost of carrying inventory and cost of ordering under assumed conditions of certainty with annual demands known. Okay, without demand known, we can't predict how much quantity we have to maintain as a stock. Okay, suppose we know before, so at the time, if within the 1 week, we will realize the each and every goods demand. So based on that demand, we will maintain the stock. That is called economic order quantity. Yes. Next, important formulae we are going to discuss now. Let R be uniform demand. This is based on the symbol or uniform demand per unit time. And here C1 is already said, holding cost. Here N is order per year. Q is units ordered or produced. C3 is ordering cost or procurement cost, already I said. Okay. These four and are very, very important formulae we are going to see based, we will solve based on these formulae. Clear? Yes, we have nearly 5 sums based on these formulae. Okay. First one, optimum number of orders per year, N naught. The optimum number of orders per year means, to denote optimum number of orders per year, N naught is there. So N naught equals to demand by EOQ. Okay, here demand means R, capital R. EOQ means Q naught. Okay, here next we can write this one as square root of R into C1 divided by 2C3, which is equals to 1 by T naught. Okay, we have a different formulae to denote optimum number of orders per year. N naught equals to capital R by Q naught, otherwise square root of RC1 divided by 2C3, which is equals to 1 by T naught. Okay. Next, minimum average cost per unit time, C naught equals to, simple C naught represents minimum average cost per unit of time. So which is equals to square root of 2 into C1, C3 and R. That's all. Okay. Next, carrying cost Q naught divided by 2 into C1. Ordering cost R by Q naught into C3. At EOQ, ordering cost and carrying cost are equal. Okay. Just recall this one before you start to solve these sums from example 30 to 34. Clear? This is very, very important thing before you started to solve from example 30 to 34. Clear? First, a company uses 48,000 units of raw material costing rupees 2.5 per unit, placing each order cost rupees 45 and carrying cost is 10.8% per year of the following year of average inventory. Find the EOQ, total number of orders per year and time between each order. Also verify that at EOQ means economic order quantity. Economic order quantity, carrying cost is equals to ordering cost. Okay, first write, this is the demand, students. Company uses 48,000 units of raw material costing 2.5 per unit. So company demand is 48,000, okay, per year. Here demand rate R equals to 48,000. Here 48,000 unit is the demand. So inventory cost obviously given in the sum. Inventory cost means C1 equals to, here carrying cost is 10.8% per year of the average inventory. Here 2.5 is the cost of per unit. So average inventory means 10% of 2.5. Okay, so 10.8% of 2.5 means 10.8 divided by 100 into 2.5. Simplify this one, we will have the result 0.27. Okay. Yes, next ordering cost C3 equals to 45. This is placing each order cost rupees 45. You straightly write C3 equals to rupees 45. That's all. First we have to find the EOQ. EOQ means economic order quantity. So economic order quantity Q naught equals to represents the economic order quantity, Q naught is used. Okay, so I write Q naught equals to square root of 2C3R divided by C1. So apply the value of C3R and C1. Next we multiply and divide by 0.27. Result is something. So out of square root, take out of that square root, the value is 4,000 units. Okay. Yes, you just use the calculator. It's not, don't use scientific calculator. You use basic calculator. Okay. Yes. Next, first one is over. Economic order quantity we obtained. Next, total number of orders per year. We know the formula. Number of orders per year means R by Q naught. Demand by economic order quantity. We know that R is given. We found the value of Q naught. So apply the value of R and Q naught. We will have the result 48,000 divided by 4,000. Result is 12. So number of orders per year means 12 orders. So month-wise order. Okay, monthly one time we order a particular goods. Clear? Next, we have to find at time between orders means T naught equals to Q naught divided by R. So we know that capital R by Q naught equals to 12. So reciprocal of R by Q naught is Q naught by R. So reciprocal of 12 is 1 by 12. Simplify this 0.083. Okay, year. Okay. Next, at EOQ, at economic order quantity, carrying cost equals to Q naught by 2 into C1. Apply the value of Q naught and C and reduce these values. We will have rupees 540. So ordering cost equals to R by Q naught into C3. Apply the value and simplify the values and we will have the result 540. Okay, here at economic order quantity, carrying cost and ordering cost both are equal. That's all. Hence at economic order quantity, carrying cost is equal to the ordering cost. Clear? Next, example 31. Manufacturer has to supply 12,000 units of a product per year to his customer. The ordering cost is rupees 100 per order and carrying cost is rupees 0.8 per item per month. Assuming there is no shortage cost and replacement is instantaneous, determine the economic order quantity, time between orders, number of orders per year. First, what is given? First, we have to write symbolically in the given sum. Okay, demand per year. Okay, here a manufacturer has to supply 12,000 units of product per year. This is based on year basis. Okay, this sum based on year. So demand per year, capital R equals to 12,000 units. Ordering cost equals to 1,000 per order. Carrying cost equals to 0.80 per item per month. We have to convert this one into year. How to convert month into year? You have to 12 months equals to 1 year. So you have to multiply this one by 12, we will find the result. Here 0.80 into 12, result is 9.6 per year. That's all. Clear, students? Here 0.80 by month means you have to write 12. So take reciprocal of this one means you will find the value 12. So 0.8080 into 12, result is 9.6. Okay, we found the values of R, C3, C1. So next we found economic order quantity. Square root of 2 C3 or divided by C1. Here 2 into 100 into 1000, 12,000 divided by 9.6. Simplifying this and taking square root of that value, we will have the result 500 units. Next, number of order per year, demand divided by EOQ. Here demand R. EOQ means Q naught. So 12,000 by 500, 24. Okay. Yes. Here number of order per year means 24. Here per month we take two times. Take order for 2 times in a month. Then only we will have the result 24. Yes. Optimum time per order means reciprocal of this one, number of order. So reciprocal of number of order is 1 by 24 is there. So reciprocal of 24 is 1 by 24. So result is 12 by 24. We can write this is year 1 by 24. Yes, we can write, we convert year into month, you just multiply 12. So 12 by 24, simplify this, 1 by 2 month. 1 by 2 month means in terms of days, 15 days. Okay, you just convert year into month, month into days. Okay. Next, 32. A company has to supply 1000 items per month at a uniform rate for each time a production run is started with a cost rupees 200. Cost of holding is rupees 20 per item per month. The number of items to be produced per run has to be ascertained. Determine the total setup cost and average inventory cost if run size is 500, 600, 700 and 800. Find the optimal production run size using EOQ formula. Yes, first we have to write R, demand. Here 1000 items per month at a uniform rate. This is the company has to supply means we have to give a 1000 items to the consumer. So here this is the demand. Then only we will send 1000 items to the particular consumer per month. Okay, demand R equals to 1000 per month. Setup cost, here C3 already here production run is started with the cost means here before started particular concern we have some amount, then only we will lead that company successfully. So that amount production run is started with a cost of rupees 200 means setup cost C3 which is equals to 200 per order. Next, carrying cost means C1 equals to 20. This is 20. Cost of holding or carrying cost or storing cost. These three mean the same thing. Okay, holding cost is 20 per item per month. Everything is based on month wise data. So we can straightly apply the values and get the result. Okay. Run size, quantity 500, 600, 700, 800. Setup cost, we have to find the total of setup and carrying cost. So first we have to find setup cost. So we know that R by Q naught into C3. Carrying cost formula Q by 2 into C1. Apply the values. Here R value is 1000, Q value is 500. Into C3 is 200. According to that values, we will have 400. We can find these values. Likewise, we can find carrying cost also. You just add 400 and 5000. Total cost equals to setup cost plus carrying cost. Result is 5400. That's all, students. Clear? So we found the value of total cost according to the quantity. Rand size 500, total cost is 5,400. 600, total cost is 6,333.3. Likewise, we will have the result. Okay. Next, we have to find the EOQ formula. We have to find the value of Q naught using EOQ formula. EOQ equals to square root of 2 RC3 divided by C1. Apply the value of RC3 C1. We will have the result. Square root of 20,000. Result is 141 units approximately. I think 140 point something, 5 something. Round off that value, we will have 141 units. Okay. Next, example 33. Example 33. Manufacturing company has a contract to supply 4,000 units of an item per year at uniform rate. Every year they contract to a supplier 4,000 units. Okay, manufacturing company has to supply 4,000 units to a consumer every year at uniform rate. Okay. Here storage cost per unit per year amounts to rupees 50. Here storage cost or holding cost is given. Okay, next setup cost is also given 160. If production run can be started instantaneously and shortages are not permitted, determine the number of units which should be produced per run to minimize the total cost. Here we have to find the EOQ. Okay, EOQ means economic order quantity. Here economic wise we have to order the quantities. Okay, right, the annual demand per year we have to supply to the consumer 4,000. This is the demand. User demands to the particular manufacturing company, so that is called a demand. R is 4,000. Storage cost is given. Procurement cost or setup cost is given 160. Okay, we just write the formula, EOQ formula, apply the values, write the answer, simplify that one, we will have the answer 160. That's all. Clear? Example 34. Here a company buys in lots of 500 boxes, which is a 3 months supply. Okay, there are 500 boxes a company need to buy. This is based on 3-month basis. The cost per box is 125 rupees. So an ordering cost is rupees 150. We have to find the inventory carrying cost is estimated at 20% of unit value. First we have to determine the total amount cost of existing inventory policy. How much money could be saved by applying the economic order quantity. First we write what is given. Ordering cost is given 150. Here ordering cost is rupees 150 is given straightly. Okay, you just write as per the given sum. Now number of units per order. We have to find number of units per order, means here 500 units. Okay, annual demand means you have to multiply here 3 month. For every 3 months we have to buy 500 box. So per year there are 3 months in out of 12. So you have to multiply 500 box into 4. Okay, per year you have to calculate this one into per year. Okay, for 3 months 500. So for 12 months you have to multiply 500 box into 4. Result is 2000 unit. This is demand rate 2000 per year. Clear? Yes. C1 equals to 20% of unit value. Here 20% of unit value is here estimated at 20% unit time. This is the inventory carrying cost, which is holding cost. C1 equals to 20% of unit time. So 20 divided by 100. Here 125 is the cost per box is 125 rupees. We have 20% of that 125 rupees means rupees 25. This is carrying cost. So next, total annual cost of due existing inventory policy is R by Q into C3 plus Q by 2 C1. Okay, this is procurement cost, this is holding cost. You sum up these results, this is the answer. Total annual cost of due existing inventory policy means you have to add holding cost as well as procurement cost and holding cost. That's all. Next, economic order quantity. Apply the value of R, C3, C1 and simplify this. Result is nearly 154 point something. Round off that value, result is 155. Okay, minimum annual cost. This is minimum annual cost. You write square root of C naught. To denote minimum annual cost is C naught equals to square root of 2 into R C3 C1. So apply the value, simplify the result, we will have 3,873. So by applying economic order quantity, money saved by company. So you just write per year we will have total annual cost of due existing inventory policy, we will have 6,850. So in after by applying the economic order quantity, money saved by company 6,850 minus 3,873, result is 2,977 rupees. Clear? Take the assignment, write in class per exam from examples 25 to 30, 25 to 35. Here homework exercise 6.3. That's all. Thank you, students.